Coalition politics have become the center stage in local government in the country, but there's been a breakdown in some of these. Just recently, the DA in the city of Johannesburg suffered a huge blow when its speaker, Vasco da Gama, was ousted after a motion of no confidence. The city's mayor, Dr. Mpho Palace's future, has also been threatened because some parties want her out. So how is the breakdown in partnership on these political parties affecting citizens? Are citizens receiving services that they are supposed to receive despite their constant political power struggles inside the council? Well, let's look at all of this and other issues now with political analyst Ebrahim Harvey. Ebrahim, good afternoon. Welcome to today, and thank you very much for your time. Just this week, we are expecting this coalition in Johannesburg, the multi-party coalition government, of which the DA has got the majority of the percentages. We expect another power struggle because they are now supposed to discuss the issue of the speaker after Vasco da Gama has gone. It looks like they've really been beset with internal wrangling than focusing on service delivery.
Yes, no, Dan, let me tell you something. In fact, only last week, I was asked this question on TV. I have revised my views about local government in the future. I'm talking, the coalition government post 2024 elections. You can see what's happening. Buffalo City, Eastern Cape, you see Tshwane, you see Joburg. I did a business day piece a few months ago. I predicted that local government coalition politics is going to be tremendously problematic, riven with tensions and problems, but never did I think it would be so bad as it is turning out to be. Then the biggest responsibility of local government, you've seen Salga that Cyril Ramaphosa addressed last week. They are not telling you the truth of the roots of the problems of service delivery. It started in June 2004 in the Free State. It's an unstoppable avalanche of township process. Combustible people are terribly unhappy. Ramaphosa himself in that address does not understand local government and the legislation. He must go and study the Municipal Systems Act and Structures Act of 2000 to see why it's commercialized, commodified, and corporatized basic services. That's why you've got Joburg Water, you've got City Power, etc. 1 foot in the public sector, 1 foot in the private sector. But to get back to your question, I am not surprised at all. You've seen what happened with the mayor of Tshwane, now Joburg calling for a neck. They want her out. There are lingering political tensions and problems. Our whole history, Dan, has been a very tumultuous, violent history, and post-apartheid South Africa is confirming that history. And in fact, I foresee to be even worse. Let me tell you, I had thought that after the 2024 at national level, a coalition government, it will bring the ANC, EFF, and DA together, would be less problematic. I have reviewed that. If you look at the fractious relationship between the EFF and the ANC in Parliament, I mean, with 11% of the vote, can you imagine if the ANC had dropped in 2012 below 50, what is going to happen? You've seen already a stormy relationship between the ANC and the EFF. Let's leave the DA aside for now.
I mean, your review, Ebrahim, if you are reviewing your opinions about coalition governments, it's quite interesting because you might not be the only one. If you look at the total number of troubled partnerships, including Joburg, is now 7. You've mentioned Tshwane.
Yes.
There's the eThekwini one has been having its issues.
Yes.
KwaDukuza in KZN, Msunduzi, yes. Pietermaritzburg, Neisner, Nelson Mandela Bay. So let's just focus on Joburg for a while.
Yes.
This week,
yes.
we're going to be looking at whether they'll succeed or not to elect a new speaker. The minority party, no, let me not say the minority parties. The so-called junior partners or smaller parties. I was wrapped on the knuckles yes. when I said there's a smaller party. They say no party is small in a coalition. But you get my drift. You get my drift. They want the new speaker in Johannesburg to come from within one of them. Okay? They don't want the DA to have another Vasco da Gama, so to speak. They are focusing on that. Why would something like that be important to political parties that are part of a coalition?
No, look, the Speaker's responsibility and function is very important politically and strategically, Dan. So I can understand the reason for this big conflict around the Speaker, you know, and if you look at what has happened. But I'll tell you something, it's symptomatic. The Speaker issues are symptomatic of a bigger problem and malaise in all local coalition government politics in this country. You must not blow out of proportion even what is happening in Johannesburg regarding the Speaker. You have to see it as part of the broader crisis in local government elections. I mean, governments after the 2021 elections. It is telling you in advance, Dan, that even if the ANC drops below 50% in 2024, I have now revised my view. I think we're going to have a very stormy national coalition government. If you look at the relationship between the EFF and the ANC in parliament, it has been so terribly fractious and violent that I believe if they've got more clout in 2024, which is likely if the ANC drops below 50% and the ANC rises even to 15% of the national vote, they are going to be more questioning, more confrontational, you see, than they are at the present moment. And it is why I have revised my view of a more constructive, better coalition politics at national government in 2024 if the ANC drops below 50%. It. And okay. I think I'm well in. If you look at Malema,
we'll have to wait and see. Sorry to come in there, Ebrahim. We run out of time. We're going to wait and see what happens in Joburg. But if you look at across the country, basically almost all the existing local government coalitions are really in trouble. Thank you very much. That's Ebrahim Harvey, political analyst. We're just zooming in on what's going to happen in Joburg this week. They're expecting an election of a new council speaker after Vasco da Gama of the DA was ousted just 2 weeks ago. The feeling, the sense is that local governments coalitions are crumbling at the moment. Still ahead.